from his unit and why it took 48 hours then to recover his body. But despite all of the questions, there are some new and important details that are emerging, coming from the Joint Chiefs Chairman himself, General Joseph Dunford. CNN's Ryan Brown is at the Pentagon for us with much more on this. So, Ryan, what is this new timeline laid out for us that the general discussed yesterday?
Well, Kate, in a very rare appearance by General Dunford, only his third this year, he laid out some of the new details regarding the timeline of the attack. And one of the things that we learned was that once the U.S. military troops came under attack by 50 ISIS fighters, it took them an hour before they called in air support, and it took another hour for French Mirage jets to arrive. Now, during that time, a U.S. drone was able to fly overhead and provide some visual intelligence of what was going on, something that's being studied as part of the investigation to exactly what happened. But so it took almost 2 hours from when the attack happened for any air support to arrive and support these troops. But General Dunford did not provide much additional information as to what actually happened during the battle, saying that it's likely that the forces on the ground felt that they could handle the situation before calling in air support, but how Sergeant Johnson was separated from the rest of his group, how his body went missing for nearly 48 hours, and how 50 ISIS fighters were able to assemble and attack this group is something that the investigation currently ongoing will have to find out. Kate?
Absolutely, and they're going to, and there'll be a briefing. Pentagon will be briefing key committees on the Hill on this later this week. So a lot more to come. Ryan, thank you so much. Joining me now to discuss this, retired Army Brigadier General Mark Kimmitt, former Assistant Secretary of State for Political and Military Affairs under President George W. Bush, and Elliot Ackerman, former Marine who deployed 5 times to Iraq and Afghanistan. He is now a CNN national security analyst. Great to see both of you. Thank you so much. Sure. General, that was an important update that came from the Joint Chiefs Chairman yesterday, and clearly he acknowledged himself. There are a lot of questions that remain, but what stands out to you about what they've released so far about this incident?
Well, I think what stands out more than anything else is an understanding that when we put soldiers into these remote operations, very sensitive operations, they probably will not and should not have a significant amount of air support, drone support, that layering of support that is typically associated with some of our large conventional forces.
Yeah, I mean, and Elliot, you served 5 tours with the Marines in Iraq and Afghanistan. The fact that an hour went by before they